and the Palestinians, and frankly, you're jumping topics on us because I think.
Well, it's part of it, honestly. It really is.
Yeah.
It might be a minor focus issue.
But how's that relating to the blockade running?
The blockade running.
Why is
there's
Israel and why is Israel in the wrong? It was the question.
Well, I can't argue. Well, it's like saying that a blockade is an act of war. And people who want to make money in times of war will run blockades, running the risk. I'm for it more or less, not so much for the money-making possibilities, but because there are a lot of people there who on the Palestinian side, who are going to be definitely disproportionately affected by this, who are just trying to get day by day, and they're going to be here a lot more because of the blockade and anything else.
Well, I mean, the question he asked is the question that I perceived was asked was which one's committing humanitarian crimes, and I have to say. Palestinians.
Majorly.
They're bringing it on themselves. What Israel does. Okay, small child knows that he's going to get spanked if he goes and tries to sneak a cookie out of the cookie jar.
Mm-hmm.
He goes and sneaks a cookie out of the cookie jar.
At least the second time.
So you spank him. He does it again. You spank him. He does it a third time. You spank him. Who is the one that's causing the child pain? The parent? The child?
That's kind of arguing to decide that maybe even because some people assume that's abuse as well. Of course, my point of view, I can't get them to stop eating food from the cookie jar. I no longer get cookies.
I think what you're trying to say is that really, so also, as we talked about the peace agreement and everything else, Israel has bent over backwards about 1,000 times over, farther than they can bend over, okay? And basically, the Palestinians have said, okay, up yours.
In the early 90s,
time again,
Israel spent millions building low-income, high-quality housing projects for the Palestinians. And Arafat said, don't move in there. Because if you leave the camps where conditions are horrible, and live there where things are nice and free, you can move in for free. That becomes your property. That apartment you take possession of becomes your property.
I'm not going to deny
at
for
no
one
cost.
that the leadership of the Palestinians are
Arafat told them, you can't move there because the Jews provided it for you and they're evil. And if you move out of there, if you move out of these horrible conditions into the nice place, then we won't get the kind of world press that it takes to make life bad for the Israelis.
I'm not going to deny one bit that the leadership of these governments are idiots.
No, they're not idiots. They're power-hungry fools.
And, I mean,
power-hungry idiot fools.
So Israel spent money building nice homes for their enemies. People sworn to kill them. They did this for them. Wouldn't let their own people move into these places.
Why
offered it for free to try to help them.
Why inflict the damage on the citizens instead of inflicting damage on the leadership? Why don't you just use Mossad and take out the leadership?
That's a funny thing about that too. Besides, I think Mossad has been used in the past that way. In fact, I think about Australia doing the Israeli passport, Israeli and then Australian passports,
which caused a diplomatic incident in Australia.
We do have a little more here somewhere. I'll bring it up in a second.
I have to side with Israel. Because they've tried time and time again to help the Palestinians, to make peace, to offer them everything under the sun except for pretty much the only thing they haven't offered to the Palestinians is two things. We'll all kill ourselves and we'll all leave.
Because that's the only thing they're happy with.
Those are the only two things the Palestinians seem to want.
Mm-hmm. The Palestinian leadership, anyways.
The Palestinian leadership and those in power. I have said over and over again, the average person from pretty much anywhere, from pretty much any religion, ethnic group, etc., they want to get up in the morning, go to work, come home, spend some time with their family, go to bed, repeat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I want to say about it more or less, I've been trying to say a little bit, is that it's a situation where we're only getting more or less one side story or another. I had to say, I've actually read a little bit of the pro-Palestinian stuff, and I can't say that there isn't a case to be made, right? I just can't make the case.
The people are suffering.
The people are
It's
suffering,
obvious,
yes.
but their leadership is.
Well, that's the thing about it too.
That's their problem.
This very still pro-Palestinian, anti-Israeli thing, right, was also fairly anti the Palestinian leadership as well, because the Palestinian leadership cared a whole hell of a lot more about their power and the money they can get, right, than they did about the Palestinian people. But that's governments everywhere, though. Really, telling you the
And
truth.
it's
That's
up
the only
to the
downs-
Palestinian people to get rid of their leadership
There was already a civil war once.
or to ask for
There
help.
is for them.
Yeah, well, there's no people out there who actually are truly united, really honestly, and they're Palestinians, not necessarily for Israel, but against other Palestinians. And Chris has had his hand up as he was taught in public schools.
Well, because I'm trying to sort of guide this so we're not all mumbling together like a couple
Are we
of
mumbling now? We just commenting on the
monkeys
news.
on crack. No, we're doing very well right
Well, we're
now.
not on crack, but
But you get the idea, though. Just trying to keep it kind of organized.
well,
here.
Australia expels Israeli diplomat over Dubai slayings. It's more continuation of how they trace back some Australian passports that were used by people who killed some officials in Dubai, or was one official in Dubai.
It was a Hamas leader.
Hamas leader, Mapua in Dubai, because it was Australian passports. It was traced apparently back to Israel. So
Say more power to the Mossad for what they're doing. It was
You're
it was
so
stupid
happy.
of them to get caught, but
you're so happy to hear when people you don't like die.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. I'm not thrilled with what they're dying, but still, the Mossad doesn't
The guy
randomly
they
go out and
tagged
murder people.
was, let's see, how would I best describe a sadistic evil fuck?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, and in
Oh,
other
yeah.
news, I just wanted to say that it looks like. By the way, good discussion on that topic. Anyway, the.
No screaming this time. We won, guys.
Oh, by the way, UK Finance Minister resigns over yet another MP's expenses claim.
Oh gosh.
I want to get this job. Because every one of those expenses, while outlandish and outrageous, is fully legal. They're allowed to expense anything they darn well please. That's part of the law. I
well-
want this job.
Well,
I could use a new computer.
There goes my
house.
nose.
Well, actually,
Scotland
Scotland Yard, during the whole MP's expenses thing, was actually charging several of the MPs with tax fraud, tax evasion, and all sorts of other fraudulent activities.
Well, it sounds
Thing
like
is,
they're
there-
popular in government.
Any of them that hid it didn't report what they were spending it on. Yeah, but most of them reported what they were spending on. Just nobody bothered to pay attention. And they are, and within the law, they're allowed to spend it on whatever they want, so long as they report it.
And most of them, I'd have to look back through the archives through the London Telegraph.
Which is why there's not much that can be done about it, except not elect them again.
All right.
All right. I got two swords that are connected. Unless you want to go ahead.
I want to pull away from all this new stuff. And let's talk about Dennis Hopper dying.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We'll go to
Died
Dennis
at
Hopper first.
age 74.
Not just Dennis Hopper, mind you, but Gary Coleman died as well.
Yes.
Art Linkletter the day before that.
Yeah.
And
So
Dio
Dennis Hopper's
died
actually
too.
the third.
So who do you think is the third? Dennis Hopper's the third? Who's the
Art
first?
Linkletter died the day
Oh.
before. Died 2 days ago. Gary Coleman died yesterday. Dennis Hopper died today.
Okay, so there's no point in making money then.
And Dio also died.
Who's Dio?
Dio?
Ronnie
Rainbow
James,
in the Dark?
Dio. Yeah, we talked
Ron-
about Dio last week though.
Ronnie James Dio.
We talked about Ron James Dio last
We
week.
mentioned it, didn't we?
I still don't know who or what Dio is.
Oh no, we didn't. I just saw that from. I was talking about that a couple weeks ago with
Yeah.
my family on my vacation. Sorry.
He was wasn't he with Black Sabbath?
Right. He was with Black Sabbath
Yes.
after Ozzy left
Right.
Black Sabbath.
And he
Which
went on
totally
to-
tanked Black Sabbath.
Well,
by
yeah.
the way.
But of course, he went on to his own solo stuff, like
Which-
Rainbow in the Dark's a famous one of his.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
made him big.
Along with, why can I not think right now?
Because you don't think ever.
Think sometimes, but back to Dennis Hopper. I think he was definitely an incredible actor.
Yeah, apparently he was the right. I finally found something here. Yeah, he was the guy I thought it was.
He died of prostate cancer.